I'm about to tell you about one of the most underappreciated AAA franchises of all time. That's right, it's Call of Duty, and this is Barrage. Whoa, hold the phone. Has any video game franchise ever been more accused of being the same old game every year? Has any franchise ever been more disrespected, where if you play any other game in the genre and you don't like something or you're not very good, you're told to go back to those games? Madden and other sports games don't count because they're based on static, unchanging arenas, and new entries in sports franchises are enriched only with slightly better graphics, updated rosters, and one major new feature that replaces a feature from last year. I'm not even being cynical, just look at Madden, for crying out loud. Now, I'm not saying that Call of Duty is perfect or even fantastic. On the contrary, the franchise has had a lot of issues, especially in recent days. Such issues include overpriced DLC, bad netcode, rehashed maps and reused assets, and weapon imbalance, among other things. Is Call of Duty deserving of the criticisms it usually receives, though? Let's start with the skill level of Call of Duty players, which is implied to be the lowest of the low. There is no lower insult to a first-person shooter player than go back to Call of Duty. At least when somebody tells you to uninstall, they're not telling you to go back to a kiddie game. Here's what you need to understand about one of COD's strengths. I want you to pay attention to this match specifically. I am a first-person shooter veteran, and I have played every major game in the franchise. I've never played on this particular map before, and I'm not sure when it was added to the game, but also know that there are no hackers or aimbotters in this multiplayer lobby. Pay attention to the scoreboard, especially at the end of the video, when you get to see just how well some of these people who have been playing Advanced Warfare for several times as long as I have are. Now, take into account that Call of Duty is designed to be accessible, which is the reason people think it's such a casual game. Guns are generally hit-scan, and people generally have low health pools. The highest number of times you'll have to shoot someone in the body is about 6 or 7, and that's with the lowest damage per bullet guns at long ranges, where damage fall-off comes into play. What critics are missing is that due to the speed of the game, especially recent entries, hell, look at how insanely fast Advanced Warfare is, the skill ceiling is monstrously high. In other words, Call of Duty embodies a hallmark of great game design. Easy to pick up, difficult to master. But let's move on to the same game every year accusation. Ugh, I feel filthy even acknowledging this, but there's so many people who believe it to be true. A cursory search of the franchise will show you a significant evolution over the course of the many years Call of Duty has existed. Call of Duty 1 and 2, for example, were slow World War II shooters with non-regenerating health that required you to pick up health packs. Call of Duty 4, the first Modern Warfare, was groundbreaking both in its modern military setting and in its level-based progression system, not to mention the introduction of perks, kill streaks, heavily customizable multiplayer loadouts, and the prestige system, which has now been heavily proliferated throughout the gaming industry as a way of keeping veterans playing the game. Just take the jump from the near futureless CODs 2 to COD 4 and there is an incredible change of pace. The next installation in the franchise was World at War by Treyarch. World at War introduced the famous COD Zombies mode that took the 4-player zombie co-op formula and radically shook it up by setting players in an enclosed map that offered them guns, perks, upgrades, secrets, and new areas in exchange for a points-based currency earned by killing zombies and maintaining defenses. So, where did things appear to go wrong? The consensus is usually Modern Warfare 2, which was the next entry in the franchise, and the one most infamous for the much too long-ranged knife kills. Modern Warfare 2 did little to add to the franchise with the exception of a sizable series of co-op challenges that put 1 or 2 players in special scenarios and required them to complete specific objectives. However, Modern Warfare 2 also invented the customizable calling card system that's been employed in a multitude of shooters, including Gotham City Imposters, Battlefield, PlanetSide 2, and more. Now, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 2 all did little to expound upon the formula, it's true. They all tried to be slightly different, and they were, with different guns, maps, campaigns, co-op features, progression systems, and loadout customization, but the action was generally the same. Then Advanced Warfare came out and added exosuits, which is why everyone in this video is boosting around and flying all over the place. It's harder to track a player in this game than it is in Unreal if the player is good. Let's be honest, if you still think that Call of Duty is the same game every year, you probably aren't criticizing much more than the fact that most loadouts boil down to darting across the map and aiming down sights at someone, then holding down the left mouse button. How would you change that anyway? This has been Barrage.